Welcome, Panther Nation football fans, to another edition of Growlin' and Prowlin'. I am, of course, Mr. CeeLo here, talking all things Carolina Panthers, from the postseason to the Super Bowl to the offseason, from the draft to OTAs to preseason to the regular season. Let the growlin' begin. Welcome back, all you Panther fanatics out there. Glad you could join us for another edition of Growlin' and Prowlin'. Here we are up on this major matchup. I didn't get to do a review on the game that we had last week. Been just crazy, guys. I'm really on the go a lot and just trying to get other things put out there and whatnot. But hey, I'm getting it done. As you guys know, Bryce Young sat out last week, and Andy Dalton stepped in relief and did a phenomenal job. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are saying, okay, well, maybe, just maybe, we need to let Dalton play this year and put Bryce back on the bench. Now, I'm of the essence that Bryce ain't the problem. Play calling. I saw at least 6 different variations of a pass play that is generally nothing but curls and outs. However, I saw DJ Shark getting the ball down the field more because they called more plays for him to get it down the field. And the other thing I don't understand, we called this one time in that Seattle game. We actually had crossers. We had crossers. I'm like, where has this been? Miles Sanders is not the answer at running back. I'm sorry. He just ain't. I'm going to keep saying this. Deontay Foreman was our guy. Chuba Hubbard needs to touch the ball more. And I'm just of the essence that we made a mistake at that position and didn't have a plan. Now, with our receiving core, we have Jonathan Mingo in concussion protocol. We need this guy back. We definitely have to have him on the field because he brings a level of toughness that we don't have. And Xavier Woods is going to be gone for a minute. And rumor is it's going to be anywhere from 4 to 10 weeks. Big because he is a big part of our communications back then. Of course, Frankie Louvu. We already have Shaq gone for the year, and as well as Brady Christensen, as well as J.C. Horn being out. We've got some issues on the defense. That's why the offense has got to pick it up. We know we're a defensive team, but we also know that we've got to get more help from the offense. And that's why I said Thomas Brown and Frank Wright are going to have to get more creative as far as getting guys open. I saw something last week that was very encouraging. I saw a play where DJ Shark ran a corner route and as well as Adam Thielen running a short out. And I love that play design. With that being said, we need more stuff like that. We have the guy. We've got a big wide receiver room. I know people are going to say, well, we're ravaged by injuries. But bringing in that Landers kid, oh my goodness, this kid's big and he's got speed to burn. If we got any of these guys that are hurt, Landers needs to play. I mean, this kid is for real. I watched the tape on this guy when he was coming out of, I think it was Ole Miss, I think it was. No, it was Arkansas, I'm sorry. But watching this guy, I was just like overly impressed with how this guy goes up and gets the jump ball. That's what we need. And see, we got to get Bryce to take the shots. With a guy like DJ Sharp, you got to take your shots. Dalton had 2 balls that were just like, I know he ain't catch that. He did. But that's the update right now. Bryce is slated to start. And like as I said, we're dealing with some injuries. But we got the Minnesota Vikings coming in, and they're winless as well. They're calling it the Winless Bowl. I am, first of all, to let you know, there's nobody from CBS Sports, ESPN, Fox, or anywhere that's picking us to win. And I'm of the belief that we're going to win this game. And people are going to say, well, what about Justin Jefferson? What about these guys, making a move to get a running back? Yeah, the running game's been tough on us. I mean, really, we've really had some serious issues trying to stop the run. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. We have had some serious issues trying to stop the run. And we seriously have to do better. And that was my biggest takeaway when we went to Avero's 3-4. That was my biggest problem when I looked at this defense was, were we going to be able to effectively stop the run? And I was just like, we can't be this bad. We can't. But yeah, Cam Akers is slated to dress this weekend. And looking at the roster of guys on this running back room, Cam Akers, Ty Chandler, and Myles Gaskin, along with Alexander Madison, is like, really? These guys having trouble running the football? Now they did run better last week, but ultimately my biggest problem is, can we force Kirk Cousins into mistakes with our defense? Burns has been relatively, I don't want to say held in check the last week, but he was disruptive. He wasn't as disruptive as he was in week 1 and week 2. And of course that goes with the territory. Now that Frankie Louvu, we hope he can play. But the thing is, we're going to have to engage Jeremy Chin and turn him into that Swiss Army knife that can engage and hurt you. I think Justin Jefferson is going to do what he does. We're going to have to blanket this guy. But Minnesota does a great job putting him in the slot and finding ways to get him the football. We are going to have to neutralize him. I think Minnesota's going to try to run the football for the most part, but I think you've got T.J. Hockenson as well as Justin Jefferson you have to worry about. They're trying to get that perfect balance on offense. And ultimately, we're going to have to stop the run. We listen, if we can lose, we're going to lose to T.J. Hockenson. I'd rather lose to him than to Justin Jefferson. You already know this guy can beat you. But I think we're going to have to take some gambles and try to get this guy off balance. And as far as offense goes, I don't know if Minnesota's defense poses as many threats. Their biggest problem is their defense. They can't stop people, and a lot of times, you hear people say, oh, well, they just score a lot of points and so on and so forth. And the whole primary goal is you have to at least establish some forms of stops. You can't just rely on your offense to keep bailing you out and causing disruptions and so on and so forth. That's just not realistic. But I believe our defense plays well, but I think they give up a lot on the run. I think Jefferson has a relatively average day. I don't think he goes wild. I think Hockenson may have a above average game, but I think Cam Akers probably has a pretty good game. He and Madison, I think they have pretty good games. But ultimately, I said that everybody picked us to lose, but I'm going to go because it's in our building, and I'm looking at Thomas Brown and I'm saying he figured some things out. Now, with that being said, we have to be able to move the football and sustain drives. That's imperative. And enforce our will. This is the first time I can honestly say this is a Carolina Panther team that does not have an identity yet. We don't even know what we are. Generally we got 2 really good backs, or we got a 1 back and a really good backup. We don't know what we have. I think Chuba Hubbard's better than advertised. And Myles Gaskins is an unknown still. That's why I feel it. That's why Philly didn't pick up his 5th-year option. He was an unknown. He's still an unknown. But I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers, and I would say a minimal shootout. But I think we get a defensive or a special teams touchdown. I think we end up winning this game 24-17. And Bryce Young has a good game. I think this is going to be a coming out party because Adam Thielen was balling the other night, guys. And I think Andy Dalton has opened up the potential a little bit. And I think Thomas Brown is going to start giving him the benefit of the doubt and saying, hey, look, let's see what this guy can do. Let's see what he can do. But, guys, let me know what you think. Of course, hit me up over at my Facebook. And if you guys are interested in finding out the other things I'm involved in, also go to the Facebook page, Growling and Prowling, and find out all of the other things that I've got going on, from polls to questionnaires and to other shows that I'm involved in. Looking to go live real soon, guys. You guys are continuously checking out the content. That's good. Always give me some feedback, guys. If you see the show underneath the post, or even the show itself on YouTube, go ahead and comment so that we can dialogue and go back and forth, because that's the part of it. That's the whole point of this show, is to get things out there and to vent. And before we leave, I extend my full support to Bryce Young. We believe in you. I believe in you, at least. Fans, if you don't believe in Bryce Young, because I saw a lot of posts I did not like. If you don't like Bryce Young, get off the wagon. Just get off. But till next time, you guys, keep prowling the airwaves and keep growling out. Keep pounding.